What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Neek Game Break, the show where we talk about the latest and greatest video games. My name is Josh, and I'm joined by Ray today. Say hi to people, Ray.
I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Hey, I'm here.
And today, we have a great show for you. We're going to cover two games for the first time. We're going to talk about the indie phenomenon, Inside, and, of course, everybody's favorite portable game, Pokemon Go.
Oh, so the one thing to do inside and the one thing to do outside now.
Oh my God, I didn't even realize that that's how we set it up, but it is. That's genius. This is a great show already. So Inside, the second game from Playdead Studios, the creators of Limbo. A lot of studios falter in their sophomore efforts. Very few second games in a series, I guess you could say, or even second games from a studio are as good as your original game when it's critically acclaimed like Limbo was. I had my doubts about this. We saw it for the first time at E3 2013 at Microsoft's press conference. Ray, how surprised were we with how good this was?
I forgot about the game. Forgot that it existed. Like, legitimately, like when people started talking about it again, I was like, what are they even talking about? So I had to look this game up again to even like remember what we were talking about. And when we saw it for the first time, I was like, holy crap, that's that game? Yeah, I'm actually incredibly surprised with how good this game was.
Yeah, it dropped off the radar after 2013's E3. It supposedly was supposed to come out late 2013, early 2014. Or maybe I have my years backwards. Maybe it was revealed at 2014. One of those it was revealed.
Yeah, one of them.
It was supposed to come out then, and then it got fully delayed into 2015. And then they pushed it again to 2016. And that was about the last I'd heard about it. Was last year when I got delayed into 2016. We hadn't seen it in any press conferences. We hadn't seen it playable. And then out of nowhere, about a week before E3, IGN posted a preview of it. Marty Sleva got to play it and Ryan McCaffrey got to play it. They're like, this is amazing. Like, this game's very much still alive and it's coming pretty soon. And then Microsoft comes out and says, oh, by the way, it's coming out in 2 weeks. Like, oh, what? Please promote this game, unlike some of your other indie gems that you have not promoted.
And that you have coming out, so yeah.
Right, like not every game is a Cuphead where people are going to be intrigued from the second they see it. Like,
oh my God, Cuphead's never coming out.
Right, like I was pretty sure this game had become vaporware as well. So it takes the concept of Limbo and it dials it up to 10.
Oh, 50.
most of the game is spent going sideways, going to the right. You only use 2 buttons in the control stick the whole time, and sound is a really key part of the game's design.
Yeah, tell them about sound, Josh.
Sound and color are both very important. So I tried to play this game one night without sound on because Chelsea was asleep. I tried playing it without sound on, and that didn't work for me. I had no idea how to do the cues, and I was getting really, really upset at one particular part of the game. I don't really want to ruin it, but there's big gusts of wind that come. That's your puzzle for that section. You got to dodge the wind. And if you don't move at the exact right seconds or jump at the right seconds, you will die.
No. See, I talked about this part, and Josh had no idea what I was talking about because he couldn't hear it. I'm like, the part where there's the noise and then you die, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, to me, this was the hardest part of the game.
And it absolutely was.
And the sound is the only way I got through it.
So it took me about 35 to 40 minutes to get through it without sound.
Oh my God. I just couldn't believe that.
I timed the bursts of air.
I could not believe that when you told me that. I was like, are you kidding me?
I was getting so frustrated with it, I wanted to give up. Like, I just wanted to put the game down. I wanted to throw my controller. And the puzzles in this are just unrelenting at times.
But they just work, And it's like, when you get it, you got it. I'll tell you right now, when I picked up this game, I downloaded it the night it came out. And I did not stop playing it until I finished it that night. I have not done that with a game, and I don't know how long.
It was one of those that I felt so compelled, like I needed to finish it in one night, but due to personal reasons, I could not finish it in one night.
Yeah.
It took me 2 days to finish it. Very short game, about three and a half hours long.
3 hours. Yeah.
I think my final playtime came in at about 4.5, partially due to the infuriating bridge section without sound, and also due to the fact that I found all of the hidden orbs in the game.
I did not find all the hidden orbs. I found most of them. Did not find all of them.
as I was going through, I was trying to find most of those, and a lot of those you got to do some significant backtracking or stray off the path to find.
Yeah.
There's a decent amount of puzzles involved to even do those.
Some of those puzzles were difficult too.
Those puzzles are the hardest one is probably there's a part where you have 20 followers and you got to gather them from all over this area, but you have to have all of them in order to find the hidden orb in that level.
Right.
You have to run in, you divide half your people with the elevator, and it's this huge ordeal. I finally figured out how to do it. I probably spent about 30 or 40 minutes on that part as well, just trying to figure out how to get to that. I knew where the orb was, but I couldn't get to it. Once you figure out some of these puzzles, you're like, oh, that's all I had to do? Yep. That's easy.
Every single time.
It's a game that definitely will be a lot more fun, I think, on a repeat playthrough, but it begs a lot more questions than it actually answers. The game is very mysterious. You start out as a boy in the forest, and the boy is the only thing of color in his red shirt. The whole game is black, gray, and white, essentially.
Yep.
And you're being pursued through the forest by dogs and by armed guards.
Terrifying, by the way.
The enemy encounters are so few and far between that you legitimately start getting scared whenever there's an enemy around.
Panicked every single time. I'm like, the first time the guys start chasing you, I'm like,
yep.
What? And
there is no sprint button.
It's all timing. And I don't. Somebody asked me, was like, well, what if you don't die in this game? I was like, it takes away from the experience.
Yeah.
I don't encourage people to die in video games, but it's like, don't try to have like a perfect playthrough, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Because there were a few times where it's just like, wow, that actually happened. Wow.
Right. I mean, I think we want to kind of stay away from spoilers here. But there's an underwater section that is the most unnerving thing in the entire game.
Oh no, I'm afraid of dogs and water after playing this game.
Ray and I were talking as we were both going through that section. Like, nope. I've seen enough movies to know where this is going.
Exactly where it was going. But it's so well done. The pacing I thought was excellent. The pacing was just really good because, like, seriously, like when I sat down, I got through one puzzle and I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep going. And then there was one point I was like, okay, I'm gonna do one more puzzle and then I'll go to bed.
Yep.
And I was like, I got to see this through. So I had to keep playing and keep going. It's just the puzzles are so rewarding, and the fact that once you figure it out, it's like, yeah, that felt good. So you keep going. It's the challenge that they put there that it's not like mind numbing, but it's also not like super simple as to like anybody can figure it out just by looking at it. Some of them I had to like think about before I could figure it out. And that's why I like it so much.
Right. So we're not going to really talk about the story. We've kind of given you where you drop in. It's one of those. You have to experience it. Don't watch a Twitch playthrough. Don't read a spoiler cat. Don't read spoilers. Don't listen to spoiler casts until after.
It won't make sense. It won't make sense.
It's really not a game. It is an experience, and that's a case that both Ray and I have made a lot over the past year on Neek. So many games like Uncharted 4 are their experiences, and this is, to me, the epitome of what an indie game can and should be. I got a more engaging narrative. Even though there's so many questions I still have, you're basically left to deduce your own conclusions at times.
That's the entire game, if you ask me. At one point, it's just like, well, how do I feel about this? Is pretty much the way I can only interpret it.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no really right or wrong answer to the conclusion either. And then I will say, if you find all 13 of the hidden orbs, you can unlock a secret ending, which left me with even more questions.
I saw it because I decided I'd cheated myself a little bit, and I saw it, and I was just like, "What?" It made zero sense to me.
It's weird, and knowing Playdead, they left us like this with Limbo. Also, we're not going to find out the ending.
Right.
We're not going to find out what they mean. They're never going to say what the interpretation is. They're going to leave it up to us, the gamers and viewers. And I think that's one of the most rewarding things you can do as a company. In today's day and age, where everything gets ruined by promotional materials or by, as much as they're fun, Let's Plays, this is a game that please do not ruin it for yourself. It's short enough. If you got to wait till it's on sale, wait till it's on sale. Vote with your wallet.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a game you need to experience.
I would love for you to experience this just fresh, having not seen anything about it. I mean, yes, take our very positive hype on this game, but definitely go and play it for yourself. It'll be worth it.
So, Ray, out of what you played this year, where would you rank Inside at?
As far as a video game, it's ranking pretty high. This is one of the best video game experiences of the year. Hands down, seriously. It's so interesting. And that's what everybody's like, oh, what, you played that little indie game? Yeah, this little indie game is one of the best games that come out this year as a video game,
This year, I mean, with some of the indie titles that have come out, The Witness, and Oxenfree have all been dramatically different, but are examples of what indie games can and should be. None of them released with a bunch of fanfare or a ton of hype around them. And I think that's how they could be. They're hidden gems. They're diamonds in the rough. For me, Inside ranks probably number 2. Uncharted 4 is still firmly my number 1. But I'll be damned if I didn't say that Inside made a very strong case. To compete with it.
It played with all of my emotions, not just this is awesome. It was like, oh my god, that's really sad. Oh my god, this is really scary. Wow, that's it just all kinds of different notes there.
You feel like you are the main character in the game. You feel like you are the boy in red.
And I'd have to say, to sum it up in one phrase, it's intelligently, hauntingly beautiful.
Yeah, hauntingly beautiful is definitely the phrase I would use. I was saying that I was maybe 15 minutes into the game when I paused and got on Twitter and said, not very far into Inside, maybe made it through the first act. And this is one of the most hauntingly beautiful games I've ever played.
100%.
And it manages to take 3 or 4 colors and make a completely vivid world that feels alive, that is beautiful. And I'm just left wondering, how did it take 6 years to make this?
I don't know. It's like somebody forgot. It's like, hey, remember we were making a video game. Oh yeah, we were making a video game. We should go finish that. Nah, I don't know. It's just because the controls are really simple. The graphics, the art, it's very simple as well. It's just it's deep in its own presence, I guess, which is really cool.
So, some of our thoughts on Inside. Definitely you guys should play it. It's on Xbox One and Steam right now. The Steam release just happened a few days ago. Definitely pick it up. It's a great play. But we're going to move on to our next topic. Ray, this is one that really excites you. Pokemon Go.
Yes. Pokemon Go.
So Pokemon Go, for those of you who somehow do not use social media or whatever, has taken the world by storm.
Literally by storm.
I forgot that this was a thing until E3 when we saw the wristbands. And then I forgot about it again in those 3 weeks until it came out. And I was like, oh, Pokemon Go is out. What do you know? This is probably, Ray and I were talking before the show. This is an example of the first legitimate augmented reality experience.
Yeah, for the masses, of course. Wow. Yeah.
This is the first thing that doesn't feel like it's just a tech demo, or you have to buy a fancy headset like Google Glass or HoloLens from Microsoft. This is an example of what can be done with smartphones. And after seeing this, I'm very excited to see how Nintendo continues to update it and improve it in the coming years.
I feel like this is the only app that Nintendo actually has to put out.
This increased Nintendo's valuation by $11 billion overnight.
Yes, I think the game
billion.
So remember how people were like, Nintendo's got money in the bank? Well, Nintendo owns the bank now.
I think Nintendo is. I saw a comparison, and it was like 2009. We're never making smartphone games. 2010,
yes,
they're all right. 2011, we're starting to think about it. 2012, definitely thinking about it. 2013, they're coming eventually. 2014, all right, these are the ones that are in the makes. 2015, dead silent. And in 2016, oh, we should have done this years ago.
Oh my God. And I was talking with my wife about this on the way because we were coming back and I was out catching some Pokemon, myself. It's the reason why I was late for recording tonight. And I'm like, we're driving back and they're just people, groups of people just out. product, and you can tell what every single one of these people is doing. They're all playing Pokemon Go, and I'm like, Nintendo has been the only video game company to do stuff like this to the everyday public. Mm-hmm. First, with the Wii, they changed the way people play video games. Got people who didn't care about video games to come in and play video games, and now they've got people who
now they're doing it again.
They're doing it again, and not even like in a subtle way. This is people who didn't care about Pokemon, people who love Pokemon, people who didn't know about Pokemon. Everybody's talking about Pokemon. They did it again.
So, I mean, like a couple years ago, we went through the smartphone game craze, and of these cheap little $2-3 titles, Candy Crush, Cut the Rope, things like that.
Oh my God, you're right.
The only like legitimate smartphone game, and I used to catch a lot of flack for saying this, the only game I felt like an actual game on smartphones was Infinity Blade. And
that's because it was the only video game,
right? I caught a lot of flack though, and the gaming community as a whole caught flack for saying if you play Candy Crush, if you play Cut the Rope, you're not a real gamer.
Well, see, now that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and of course, me at 18, 19 years old thought that. I don't ever want to hear anybody say this about anybody who plays Pokemon Go. Like, it's not just a game; it's an experience,
and that's what's gonna keep selling.
They took the social aspects of Miitomo and integrated them in an actual meaningful way that doesn't make you bored after 2 hours.
Yeah, remember Miitomo, that game that I'm sure almost none of you are playing now. And don't lie to me. Trust me, I haven't. I switched phones since I got Miitomo. I haven't re-downloaded it.
So I still have it installed on mine, and I download my coins occasionally. I'm holding out hope that there'll be some cross-compatibility between some of these upcoming Nintendo ones.
I would hope it works with my NX. That would be great. Oh my God, why do they have a 14? They have a level 1,488 Vaporeon at this gym. I'm upset. Sorry, I got off track.
So see, and these are the kind of conversations that we're able to have now. I mean, in the workplace, people who wouldn't normally play video games have to be a part of this. They feel like they have to be a part of this craze. And
it's water cooler talk, man.
Right, it is. It's, it has replaced Game of Thrones as the water cooler talk since Game of Thrones is on break.
Yep.
And nothing will replace this for a while. I mean, it'll coexist beside Mr. Robot season 2, but that's about it.
Yeah. So like this is how far this goes now. Like we live in a 26th floor building. We got in the elevator, and this older woman, like she's older, like than us. She's an older woman, and she's like, "You guys playing the Pokemon Go?" And I was like, first I tried not to look real shocked, and I was like, "Yes." And so we had a whole conversation about it. We were coming up in the elevator. I'm like, "This is crazy. Like this is something that everybody can talk about easily, especially with everything going on right now in the world. This is like, oh well, okay, we can kind of have a common ground on this, and it's fun to talk about."
This came out at literally the perfect time. Not that it was planned. It came out at the perfect moment, though. Nintendo could not have planned this better if they tried in a million
years. They could have planned this better because there are some things that I'm angry about, Josh.
Okay. Well, as a whole, now, as Ray just got very animated about, there have been some issues with the launch. The servers. Now, full disclaimer, I have not yet downloaded this. I probably will not due to my crappy data plan, and I don't want to just be catching Pokemon within my apartment
or at Starbucks. Download this game if you are on a shared data plan or have very little data. It's bad for your wallet. Don't do that.
In other words, I might be playing it on Chelsea's phone. But the servers have been god awful for this game.
So there was a meme I saw going around. It was like a real time picture of what's happening with Pokemon Go servers, and it was a Clefairy and a Psyduck at a computer. Like, what the fuck is this?
I think my favorite one was live at Pokemon Go HQ, and it was the gift from Community where Troy from Remedial Chaos Theory, where Troy walks in smiling with the pizzas, and everything is on fire. That is exactly how I felt my friends were feeling. Who, of course, my entire feed is playing Pokemon Go right now. Mm-hmm. I will say, it's given us some absolutely hilarious material.
Oh, there's some hilarious, like the memes are great. Oh my goodness!
And I'm really hoping, Nintendo seems to be soothing it out a little bit more with the new update. From what I'm hearing, it's not crashing as much. People are actually able to get on.
You don't have to give them access to your entire Google account if you're on an iDevice, which was very awkward.
That was another one. They had access to emails, the Gmail accounts.
Mm-hmm. If you signed in with your Gmail account, they had full access to your Gmail account in that time. Before they updated, they just updated to where it just now asks to connect your profile to you and to view your email address. But before it was full access.
Yeah, that's why you always want to read what permissions you're giving to apps. Even not that I think Nintendo would do anything malicious, but it's the idea of if the company were breached somehow, your information is out there then.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be said of anything, but you've given them willingly access legally to that information.
Yep.
Or that, Ray, have there been any other major issues besides those? We'll get to the issue of where you should and should not play in a moment.
Yeah, we'll get there. But I mean, there are times where like the app will just hard crash. Like I'm in the middle of like I was earlier today before dinner. There was a level 300 Pidgeot, and I'm like, that's amazing. That's such a high level Pokemon. And I threw a Pokeball at it, and the game froze, and it crashed. And I was like, well, this is depressing. And like sometimes you get those Pokemon, sometimes you don't. So like it just still random crashes. It just dies all of a sudden. I mean, there's the weird thing where like the location is off sometimes. Like right now, if I open it up, it's showing me as across the street from where I really am. So I don't know what's up with that, but it's really things. But before it was like there was a hard crash like every almost 20 minutes at some point. And it didn't matter what device you were on. It's just this is a really big feat, and somehow they've kept it together with the glue and the paper clips that they had. But it's been rough.
Yeah, it's a game that's definitely been rough, and I think Nintendo is going to realize they need to have more than the team that they have engineers that they have on the mobile.
Plenty of money to get people in there.
Yeah, they need to hire some like top level front end engineers and back end engineers especially to get in on this,
because they have a gold mine. Once they get the trading system down and the live battle systems down and the group events down, and they just stabilize the entire app, this thing is going to thrive for a long time.
Right. I really think there's going to be some connectivity with the NX down the line, like we were saying just a few minutes ago. They would be almost foolish not to integrate Pokemon Go and Miitomo at some point. Not Miitomo, really, but definitely Pokemon Go. I believe they have another smartphone game or experience, quote unquote, coming this year.
There's another one coming this year. Yep. So we'll see if that one prints money too.
I'm definitely going to say we're going to see a lot more Nintendo games going forward. I would not be surprised to see some Game & Watch or NES classics come to smartphones and tablets.
And then awesome. I can't wait for the announcement of the Mario phone.
Yep,
it's gonna it will be I don't know. I feel like that Nintendo could pull off a phone that was just this is the only way you get their apps is with their phone. Would be something crazy that they did.
Now, one thing I do want to, we're gonna get back to some positives here in a second to wrap up, but one thing it's alternatively a negative and kind of a PSA. If you are playing this, be mindful of where you're playing. Yes. Please be mindful of your surroundings. I mean,
it tells you that when you open the app.
Nobody reads that though.
Oh my God.
People have already been they've been mugged, they've been robbed at supposed like at gym locations and stuff. And then there's the issue of playing in inappropriate places.
There's a time and place for everything. Professor Oak tells you everything. Professor Oak has always taught you this, so you should know by now.
The two most notable that I've heard is the National Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. and Arlington National Cemetery. I'm personally of the opinion that I think a cemetery is inappropriate to play at no matter what time of day it is or where it is. Because you're literally walking over people's graves. There's a lot of volunteers who spend a lot of time making these cemeteries look nice. My grandparents used to volunteer out at the local military cemetery down here in Texas. It's after you spend a lot of time around there, it's really sobering, and you realize this is not the most appropriate place to play a game. You can literally play anywhere else. Cemeteries. places where you're not supposed to have your phone. I mean, at the Holocaust Museum, when you go in there, they actually ask you to put your phone up unless it's an emergency or you're a government official, essentially.
Like it doesn't make sense. You don't need to be playing Pokemon Go or something like that.
The fact that they even had to come out and put signs up and put PSAs out is just, it's sad. As a community of gamers, we are better, and of course, there's always gonna be people who aren't mindful. There's people who play Candy Crush at these things, but this is different. I mean, they're both horrible, but this, you shouldn't be trying to catch Pikachu or whatever in the Hall of Names. There's a time and a place right there. I'm pretty sure President Obama is playing it at the White House right now.
Right now.
I swear to God, the best Pokemon in the game is sitting in the Oval Office.
Well, he probably has all of them. He's probably got all 3 of the legendary birds right in the Oval Office.
He probably found Ditto too.
That's true. But yeah, just be like Josh said, be mindful, be courteous, be respectful, and like think about each other. Think about the people that you're like around when you do this. It's not just it's a game, but remember,
it's a game. It's not life and death.
Right.
You can, if a business or an establishment asks you to not be playing it, be respectful of that. You may not agree with it. You may think it's ridiculous. I could be ridiculous for some businesses to say, don't do it. But there are some that are frequented by large members of the public. Maybe you guys need to listen to them. They don't want because the gyms where they're set up at, the systems and Pokestops and stuff, people are congregating, and it does create a hazard. It does create an annoyance for the general public, for families, for people like that, for people just trying to do their jobs.
Right.
It can, it can understandably aggravate them and annoy them. So just be mindful if anything like that is posted around places where you go.
Just be kind. They're not inconveniencing you. You will be always inconveniencing them. You're playing a game, okay?
Yeah, you're the inconveniencer, not them. So they're asking you to go about your life as you were 3 days ago.
Before this existed.
Yeah. But, there are a lot of positives to this, as we've already described. Ray's having a great time with it. Even the CEO of Microsoft came out today and said that he really thinks that the success of this game is going to help build interest for augmented reality going forward, especially for HoloLens and its gaming applications. I think after the success of this, they're going to focus on more gaming applications than saying, oh, it's a device that can be used in all sorts of professional aspects and in gaming. We're going to see more than just the Minecraft demo that we saw last year. We're going to see another bigger demo within the next 6 months. I would guarantee it.
Yeah. And I mean, as good as it is for the industry, it's also really good for the community. It's been so good to see just so many different people from so many different walks of life coming together to enjoy something they all enjoy. Out and about, it's nice seeing people outside doing stuff, even if it's if it's this, it's awesome.
I saw a picture the other day where I think it was yesterday evening when I was reading the news, and it was somebody had called and said there were a bunch of people congregating in front of an elementary school at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and a police officer responded to it. He came up and he started playing Pokemon Go with them.
See,
he asked them kindly to disperse after they caught the Pokemon, and that made me crack up, because I mean, if they notice a big group of people standing around, they're gonna ask you anyways. But it's even cooler that they kind of anticipated that and asked all different times. I mean, there were people who were 60 there and people who were 17, and they were showing the officers how to work it on their phones.
That's crazy. I love it.
I think that's awesome. And like Ray said, it's really going to help bring communities together. People from all different walks of life. You don't have to be a video game nerd to enjoy this. You don't have to be a tech aficionado to appreciate the geo-mapping technology in it. While buggy, is still really
very impressive. Very impressive.
This has not been done on a smartphone game before.
It was, the technology was there with Ingress before, but just didn't have the AR level.
Right. Nintendo basically took Ingress and turned the dial.
They turned it to Nintendo.
That's why I'm really excited to see who takes this and goes further now.
Yeah.
I've often joked that I would, in a heartbeat, drop money for a Pokemon or a Digimon game like this.
If somebody turned this game into a Digimon game and I got a Digivice,
that's it. You've never seen me again.
See, Nintendo missed out when they didn't make it a Pokédex phone case. that you could put this in?
Oh, it's coming.
Oh, if it's not coming, I'm gonna be so mad at them. Like, there's just so much money left on the table. There's so many things they could do.
I think that should have come out with launch, but like always, Nintendo underestimated. They didn't supply enough of the standalone bands.
Of course not.
Those were not provided, and those are skyrocketed on eBay now until they can make more. It's going to take a few months. It's going to be like the Amiibos all over again.
Oh my God. You would think they'd learn, but Nintendo is, I don't know, somehow strangely humble.
Yeah.
So
this, kind of wrapping up our thoughts on it. This gave me some renewed hope for Nintendo after the passing of Mr. Iwata last year. Actually, this week last year.
Literally this week last year.
Nintendo's kind of been lost. They haven't done anything good outside of showing Zelda in the last year, really.
Yeah, well, it's funny. Like, the two things Nintendo have done in the past 2 years is like that have like drawn the public interest like this, or Pokemon Go and showing Zelda. Yeah. Two of the things that everybody
they somehow, and I mean, I've even done it. I'm guilty of doing it. I pretty much wrote them off outside of the NX, saying, "Oh, NX is my last shot to care." I'm almost more intrigued in what they continue to do with smartphones and tablets now. I would like to say this, though, for the few friends that I have who are Windows Phone users, Nintendo, can we please get some support for them?
Go buy a real phone.
I found it hilarious because even Major Nelson and Phil Spencer were like, y'all need to be playing Pokemon Go. Like, they are playing it. And I think that's so cool. I'm pretty sure Shuhei is playing it.
Of course Shuhei is playing
it. It's one of those that, and then you've got Greg over at Kinda Funny, who's just bitter because nobody cared about the Animal game on PSP years ago.
Because it was terrible.
Yes, but still, it's been so funny to see everybody come together, even if you don't have any interest to play it, even if you don't really like it, or you can't because of,
give it a shot.
If you can't because of device or data plans, like, that's cool. You can still appreciate what's going on, much like the boat that I'm in. I'm pretty sure I would be playing it if I had data, and I would not be a grandpa telling kids to get off my lawn. There's kids in my apartment complex, outside my apartment all day playing this. Just good. You see them running, 10-year-old kids running around on their smartphones and tablets, and I think that is the coolest thing to see because it's something I always wanted as a kid playing Pokemon.
Right.
So you have one game to keep you inside. You have one game to take you outside.
I love it.
A twofer. Ray, do you have any final thoughts on Pokemon Go?
No, but everybody let people enjoy what they enjoy. Find something you enjoy and enjoy it. And I need to go catch an Eevee.
And it's a free download, correct?
It's a very free download. There are internal microtransactions, but they're not necessary unless you thoroughly desire to buy more incense or Pokeballs, But I'm not paying real money for Pokeballs. Not yet.
Not yet. Give it a couple weeks, guys. So, with that being said, we're going to start wrapping up. Ray, in the next month or two, are there any big games you're looking forward to?
Aren't we supposed to be getting No Man's Sky soon?
Yep. November. God, August 26th.
Don't do that to me. They posted that it went gold, so I'm really excited about that.
You and I are going to be catching up on summer sales.
Yes, summer sales. There's so the sales have actually been good, or is that I actually have money to spend on them? I don't know what it is.
It's been both. Yeah, PSN's done some phenomenal flash sales. Microsoft's Ultimate sale wasn't too bad this year. If you didn't already have those, of course, it's if you don't already have the games. Steam sale, of course, just came and went. Prime Day is going on right now. It'll be over by the time you hear this.
A lot of good sales.
Yeah, lots of really good ones. Great time to go pick up a game for a cheap price. I myself will be diving into The Witcher 3 starting this week, hopefully. I have a very big backlog, including that Until Dawn and God of War 3 that I need to get to.
I started God of War 3 too in anticipation of you getting it so we could talk about it.
I'm very excited. We might have to do a Josh finally plays all his PlayStation exclusives show.
Oh, that'd be great.
Because I have a bunch of them that I've been really wanting to get to for a long time.
Wait, question mark before we end the show. You've played Infamous, right?
I have played Infamous, but not extensively. It's on the list.
We do a comic book show. You have to play this game.
I promise I will finish Infamous before Spider-Man comes out.
Oh, good luck. But all right.
For reference, why I'm having to promise this, Ray and I made a pizza bet back in May. Right as I went on vacation.
So this was bad timing on his part. Great timing on mine.
That I would get through all of the Uncharted games before the end of June. I did not anticipate on moving or doing as much E3 coverage as we ended up doing. Yeah. Life in general got in the way. I got almost all the way done with 1, 2, and 3, but never finished them.
Almost, but not quite.
Almost. So now, when Ray and I get to hang out, when I go up to Wichita or he comes to Dallas, I have to sit in a pizza joint and watch him eat pizza.
And it's going to be great. I'm so excited.
So, yeah, Chelsea told me I definitely messed up there.
You did.
But that being said, Ray, do you have any shout-outs before we close up?
Shout-outs to Nintendo. You did it. I'm so proud of you. You did it. I mean, you really didn't do it, but you did it by having the property. So, yes, but thank you. And please, just give me Zelda and an NX and make the NX awesome. And this life will be so great. You don't even understand. Please.
Absolutely. Like I said, that's definitely my shout-out this week, too. I didn't think when I was starting to play this show a couple days ago that I would be saying, thanks, Nintendo. You created an awesome product. But Nintendo has created a great product. They've created a great free experience for everybody, for whether you're 5 or 100. You can get into it and enjoy it, much like the Wii, like Ray said. But I also have to give a shout out to our other developer this week, Playdead.
Playdead, yes.
To have such a phenomenal sophomore effort. It's going to be a divisive game going forward, I think. But if you're a fan of great game design, great coloring, and especially the fantastic and sparsely used sound design, definitely get it. If you want an engaging mystery narrative, get it. It's not going to be for everybody. We'll go ahead and say that right away. Limbo is not a game that's for everybody. And I can't wait to see what they do next. It's such a small team, and they're so fun when they make their games.
So we'll see it in another 6 years.
Right. Well, we will see you at the end of the Scorpio and Neo's life cycles. Hopefully with a PSVR game.
That'd be great.
So I'd love to play a game like this in first person.
That would be terrifying.
That would be terrifying, and I don't know if I'd ever sleep again. It'd be like the Blair Witch Project.
Nope,
but with that being said, he's Ray. I'm Josh. This has been Neek Game Break. Thank you for joining us tonight. You can find us everywhere on the internet at Neek Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and iTunes. All of your favorite podcasting services. And you can find us personally on Twitter. You can find Ray at Ray Apollo. And you can find me at Josh_Finn. That's with 2 N's. If you have any questions, please let us know. If you have any games that you think that we should be on the lookout for, that we should be covering, hit us up. Let us know. Let us know if you're playing Pokemon Go. Let us know what you thought of Inside. If you loved it, if you didn't like it, if you just think we're idiots for talking about these two for as long as we did and gushing, let us know. We want to cover what you want us to cover. So, with that being said, good night from Ray and I.
I caught a horsey.